YouTube, what's good? Welcome back to another case study. Guys, this one is an absolute banger. Today, I have my boy Jaden here. He just got off doing a 120K month, 80K week, and a 20K day in this whole entire month of March, okay? Going into April, last 30 days. But still,
Yeah.
it's fucking incredible. This is going to be the biggest case study on the channel by far. So Jaden, brother, thank you so much for having yourself here. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the channel and kind of go over your organic dropshipping journey up until now.
All right. So my name's Jaden. I live in Glasgow, Scotland, and I just came off of a $100,000 month. No, $120,000 month,
Yep.
and yeah, it's fucking insane. So I've been in the space for like a year and a couple months now. I started like at the end of 2024, start of 2025, and for majority of that time up until now, I just didn't have a mentor, but I was learning from YouTube. Um, and I'll just pretty much kind of stagnant for a long time. Like I would scroll my burner, find a product, try and run it up, but then I wouldn't make a lot of money, or just I'd have whatever issues we all face with this business model. And I was just stuck for a while. I had one kind of decent outlier product. If anyone knows, it was a flex lamp. I would have shown my face on that, so some OGs might remember that. But that's pretty much the only like decent kind of bag I ran up in that whole kind of year. It was like a 5K month, and then kind of every other month, it would just be like kind of 1K, like one maybe like 1 to 2K every month from running like a pumping up product that I see on my burner. And then for a while, I didn't have a mentor for a while because I didn't feel like a lot of the mentors in the space. No, not throwing any digs at anyone specifically, but I didn't feel like many of them kind of aligned with my goals of like building a brand, um, and just scaling long term. With the things that they talk about, most of them, 99% of them, they talk about scroll on burner, find a product, go viral, and make money. But then that's it. They all kind of regurgitate the same information. None of them talk about really long term brand building and content creation and scaling with like teams and you know having actual systems in place, or actually really just any of them sounding like they know how to run a real business. Because that's another thing. So many of these people that are like mentors, or just people that are just doing the business model, people like me. So many of them just treat it like it's a side hustle, or like it's just something that's not supposed to be taken that seriously. Like, because the way that, to be fair, in some aspects, it's not the hardest business model because you're just filming videos, and posting on social media to get traffic to your store. But then because of that, you know, yeah, that creates a sense of like unseriousness with other business models, compared to like running an agency or like doing paid ads or whatever. Naturally, I feel like the people in those business models are more serious about it compared to our business model. So it was really hard to kind of find someone that I really just like, clicked with, like someone who's actually building real organic brands and was really, dialed in with the whole like theory of marketing and everything. Then obviously I found Kevin, and that's when it kind of changed. You know, I realized the way he talked about the business model, the way he talked about business, the way he would kind of articulate himself, he just sounded like he knew more than all these other guys. You know, it kind of like when I'd watch a video about a certain topic that he was talking about that I didn't understand or I wasn't even aware of before, I'd always come out feeling like I learned something that I didn't already know. So then that was really kind of what made me feel good about this investment. So then I joined, sort of like end of December time, like January time, and then for that point we started testing. We started testing a few products. They were doing like all right, but we didn't have like one crazy outlier. And then obviously this product we found, I think it was like the third or fourth one. This one was just absolutely fucking ballistic. Not it still took like quite a while about to get into that. I had like a really good first like month with the product or first couple of weeks running the product. Pretty soon I had a viral video while running it. I hit my first 1K day on it, and then but that's the thing. It wasn't just like one of these pump and dump like gadget kind of gimmicky products that you see on your burner. Like it wasn't. I'm trying to think of an example. Like the gun torch or them kind of products. It wasn't anything like that. It was a product that actually, without leaking it too much, could be run long term and actually scaled. In all ways, all types of sales channels like paid ads.
Right. And
All
most
that.
people wouldn't have known that too. Like if you see this product, you're like, no way this prints. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But like I remember I picked it out for you. I was like, bro, this is probably like the best organic product you could be possibly running right now because it had so much potential for like brandability. And that's what like you originally came into the program wanting. It's like, yo, how can I create a real brand that goes beyond, like you said, just the typical pump and dump mug or whatever, right? Gun torch.
Yeah.
Although that did make money, but still, like you can only do so much with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously, like your intent with the program was to like learn actual business skills and kind of take the, I guess like the business model of organic from like doing it part time and not so serious, like you mentioned, to like actually making this like your full time thing. To now, you're doing this full time and now you're scaling it to the moon, right? Because guys, Jaden is doing this all branded, right? All organically, not even using AI really, like barely a little bit. Nothing too crazy.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
We at the beginning we weren't using AI.
Yeah.
But then we
Now,
implemented it later. Yeah.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was all organic. Now we're doing a little bit, but even then, it's like actual real organic marketing. And it's just insane how far he's come from like that old mentality of, like you said, just going through the burner, finding products, right? Running quick little pump and dumps. And like you said, you've been in this space for a while, so you know all pretty much everything when it comes to like, I mean, you've ran like probably over 10 products, you told me, right? Before, probably more,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think like 10 to 15, like over my whole, time of doing this business model. Yeah.
Right. And I wanted to ask you, like, without leaking too much, like, how does this product compare to, I don't know, like the Flex Light that you ran right back in the day? Because you went really viral with that. You said you were first or second to market that product, but it didn't really go too well for you. So let me ask that one more time. Like, what's the difference between what you got going on now and your traditional pump and dump, product that you're seeing on your burner every single day?
Well, the main thing is just the marketing angles that you can take. So, obviously, when I mean marketing angles, I don't mean like, because there's products like the ankle bracelet or the POV cam where you technically can have loads of different marketing angles. But what I more so mean is like, there is so many different concepts that you can do with this product. And secondly, just as importantly, it's like an actual product that I'm trying to think if I had a leak.
You could
Like
use it every day.
solving.
Yeah, you could use it every day. It's problem solving.
Yeah, and
yeah.
and a lot of thing is another thing, oh, what's getting a call? It's a product where, most products in organic, you can't really scale with like paid ads or influencers just because of the nature of how the content is around those products. But because you notice, like when you look at paid ads products versus organic products, like a gun torch versus a supplement, they can't really cross over. There's only a select few amount of products that really can bridge the gap between organic and paid ads, where you can literally just market them in every single way. And that's kind of the main thing with this one. Like, it's just, you can do everything. All the things that you could do, like as an e-commerce business owner with this product, essentially you can do.
Yeah.
Which is not the same with most organic products.
Yeah, and when I saw it, I was like, bro, this checks all my boxes, because it actually reminded me of like one of my brands. And so when I saw the product that I picked for you, I was like, this is it. Like, this literally checks all the boxes, not only for organic, but if you wanted to get into, UGC creators, TikTok shop, paid ads, like it is a really good, and that's the thing too. It's like, this isn't anything new either. This is like a really old product, obviously without leaking too much. Like, this product isn't new at all. It's actually hella saturated. But because we were able to bring new angles to the table, to the market, and also outcompete your competition that was honestly a little bit lazy, you blew them out of the water, right? And that's the thing. It's like, a lot of you think that, oh, because a product is being ran by multiple people, I can't run it. That's simply not true, because Jaden is like the representation of, if you just bring new marketing angles, new different types of concepts, also maybe mixing AI in there, bro, you can make this shit work, because product saturation does not exist in my opinion. I don't know about you, Jaden, but for me, it's mostly just like the marketing angles, because you literally kind of spun it differently, because your competitor was only running like one main marketing angle, and then I remember we got on a call and we figured out, okay, we're gonna do this one, this one, this one, and this one, a little bit of AI in there, and you brought like three new concepts that absolutely blew you up in just a matter of a couple of months, really.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, product sales saturation, that's like literally impossible to hit with
Right.
organic. We cannot sell that many products as organic dropshippers to where that would ever become a problem. But yeah, it's mainly just content saturation that's the thing. And don't get me wrong, content saturation can happen. Like, with products like the POV cam, people can kind of do every single marketing angle that
Right.
can be done. And, to a certain extent, you can't like, you know, do there's certain angles that are like kind of bullshit, like wouldn't work. But
Right.
with the product we were running, there was still kind of a blue ocean where we could basically just test whatever we wanted, because the first competitor for this product was only doing one marketing angle, and then every other competitor that tried to run this product was again just doing the same shit. Like it's like they all. There's another problem with organic. All everyone knows how to do is copy each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even like they don't even cross-reference other competitors for other products or other niches or anything. They just literally they look at the one competitor, they see what concept they went viral with, and they'll film that same video 20 times.
Yep.
Maybe they'll go viral once, and then when they stop getting views or they don't go viral, they just drop it and they
Right.
try and do the same thing again. And it's like, how can how can you expect to develop your skills in organic marketing or even paid marketing, whatever skill you're trying to develop, if you're just doing the same like thing over and over again that's not working, and you're not trying to iterate, you're not trying to
Right.
experiment, you're never going to see any sort of success with that.
Right. And so where were you getting most of your concepts from? Like were you like looking at the burner a lot, or were you maybe trying to study like other big brands? Like how were you able to, I guess, pioneer new concepts with such a saturated product? How did you kind of go about that?
Yeah, so I had like multiple different kind of methods. So I'd look on the burner for competitors in the same niche but running different products. I'd look at sort of niche videos. Most of the niche videos in my niche I couldn't really replicate entirely, but I could take like text hooks and audios and all that. But also another thing is I would look at like paid ads for this. Like there were some paid ads concepts that I'd seen ran for this, like some paid ads text hooks, and I was like, I could definitely implement that in organic to make it a bit more like optimized for going viral. But
Mm.
because I seen in my head like if these paid ads guys are running this um video up to like 100K likes and they've been running it for ages, it's definitely working. It's getting sales
Right.
at a high level, so it could definitely work with organic if you don't copy it. I don't didn't copy it entirely, but picked that and then I picked this and I picked that and I kind of merged it all into one concept. But that was just one concept, because then I also had a bunch of other different concepts.
Right.
Another concept that went viral was one that Kevin sent me, because he found like an AI um concept. Or it was actually a whole account, and then he sent it to me. He's like, "Yeah, do some of their concepts are really good." And then I used
I
copied it and I
remember
just
that,
fucking
bro.
went viral. Yeah, yeah, he remembers. Yeah,
I think it's one of your best videos too, because we literally copied it was the hook. It was just the video hook, and then you kind of
pretty much.
twisted
Yeah,
the video hook, a little bit of the concept, but yeah, we literally like
yeah.
stole it
Like I was
from
saying, like I
that
take
brand.
for that video and some others, I'd take a video hook from here, and then I would take an audio from here, and then I'd take
Right.
this from there, and then it would just I'm basically just creating new concepts on the spot that literally no one else
Yeah, you were
was doing.
Frankensteining. You were Frankensteining,
Yeah,
literally taking pieces out of everything and just jumbling it up together to make your own concept. And that's like the best that you could possibly
yeah,
do, because it's like so original, but you're taking pieces of already proven aspects of other ads. And so you were taking pieces from like paid ads, other organic drop shippers in the niche, completely different products, different sounds, etc., and just making it your own, which was huge. So obviously, like, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows with this product. Like, let's preface, like, in the beginning, it wasn't easy at all. We really weren't seeing a lot of results. So if you wanted to go ahead and talk about that, like maybe the first 2 months of running this product, because it was not everything that we wanted it to be, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'd say a 10K month is kind of saying that that's bad is a bit of a,
yeah,
that's a bit extreme, but
it is.
it
It is.
wasn't
We're
hitting
grateful.
these
We're grateful
numbers
for
yet.
10K months.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, but we weren't hitting these sort of numbers yet. And part of it was, I was still experimenting with concepts, but also, the algorithm kind of just wasn't, you know, pushing out my videos as much as I wanted to. And that's something that, one of them things is just out of your control. You kind of just have to wait. Sometimes people, a lot of people will get really impatient. Like I'll post like 50 videos on an account before I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll make a new one now. Because there's people that like they post a couple videos and they're like, oh, is my account fucked? And I'm like, mate, you haven't even like you haven't even tested the product. You haven't
Right.
even tested the account properly. Like because people are, I don't know. Because another thing with a business model is like people want to move so fast, and I get that, and it's important. But they're sometimes they're trying to move too fast to where if they don't go viral the next day or the next hour, they think they're cooked, and that's just not. Especially for our long-term brand building, in our case, like I could not be thinking like that. I have to just be patient, and that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give to people. You just need to, you know, kind of trust the process.
Yeah, and I feel like we went through a lot of problems in the beginning, like account issues. I think you even got suspended at one point.
Yeah.
Your videos were not doing too well. You were experimenting with a whole bunch of concepts and kind of machine gun testing, until it finally worked out for you. But if you didn't, I guess, see it through and see the long-term vision, you would have never hit this 100K month, right? 120 to be exact. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I feel like you nailed that. Like you nailed it with that. Like a lot of people, especially in organic, want to see these crazy quick results. But when you're building a brand from zero, bro, it's like you're not going to build a multi six-figure a month brand in a
Mm.
week, right? This is going to take a lot of time, energy, and effort, but most importantly, conviction. And that's something that I saw from you from the jump with this was like you had conviction in this product and you told me like I'm not going to stop running this product until I make this shit
Yeah.
work. No matter if my account gets suspended, if Instagram isn't pushing my videos out, etc. I'm going to make this work. And I think that's why you're here today telling your story, because you literally just saw it through and you had so much
Mm.
conviction in this product to actually build a real brand behind it that you didn't really care about the short-term money. Because I remember I was like, Jaden, what you're doing now is great because you're learning like true discipline, because at the end of the day you're always going to be leaving money on the table when you're
Mm.
sacrificing and going all in on one product, right? Because at the end of the day, like you could have probably ran up a couple more pump and dumps, which you kind of did, but you were solely focusing
Or I
on
was
this
more or
product.
less the pump and dumps were still kind of there, and then I
Yeah.
was realizing that there wasn't much point in me still running them.
Right, because it was taking a lot of your time, energy, and effort. And so I told you, like, listen, bro, sometimes you have to leave money on the table to focus on something that's going to make you millions of dollars in the
Mm.
future. And a lot of people don't see that because they have this short-term mentality, which again, I don't even blame them, because in the beginning, like, you're kind of like anxious and you want to make shit happen, right? But sometimes there's going to be a time and a place for yourself to be like, all right, let me remove myself out of that like burner, short pump and dump mentality and start thinking about the future. Because at the end of the day, if you're watching this video, I hope you want to do ecom full time, right? And you want to make this like your full time thing for the rest of your life, or maybe not for the rest of your life, but for at least like 10 plus years, right? But for you to do that, it's like it's going to require a really good product brand, and I promise you're not going to be able to do this, these type of numbers with just mugs and blankets for the rest of your life, right? Where you're restarting every single week, and so you kind of sacrificed the short term for the long term. And I think that's
Yeah.
extremely powerful for even a lot of beginners in here that are watching this video, and even advanced guys that maybe have conviction in a product and they're kind of like suffering a little bit right now. But I promise you, if you truly have conviction and if the product obviously has branded potential, you will make it work. Because for me, like for my brand, it took me like 2 months as well, with like very little traction until, I had my breakthrough month, which was the third month of running it. And I was like, this is it, but fucking Rome wasn't built in a day,
Mm.
so yeah. So another thing I wanted to ask you too, Jaden. So before joining the program, you said you had made like a couple of thousand rev, nothing crazy.
I mean, maybe it was like 10K lifetime, but that was
10K
over such a
lifetime.
long,
How long?
like I said, like a year. So
Holy
really, I
shit.
would say I was only making like $1,000 or less a month from like running pump and dumps.
Right. Right. So you came into the program with like 10K lifetime, from like a year's worth of just testing and trenching, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and show that dashboard, bro. I think people want to go ahead and see the damage that we've done. We talked a lot about the
Yeah.
product, about yourself. Now it's time to get into the details, bro. So let's take a look. You can share your screen. This is a sight
CBR.
to see, bro. Last 30
Yeah.
days, 122,000 USD.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
2.5% CBR.
This is beautiful. Yeah.
Mad.
Organic, by the way, guys. 2.5 CVR almost
And
organically.
then we gotta show the 30th of March, 13K day, and then it's 31st, 12.5K day. Then we go to April, basically another 10K day. Go to Thursday, another 10K day, and then Friday hits. It's a fucking 20K day with a 3% CBR.
3% CVR, bro.
I still look at this and like, just I can't even. My brain can't even like process it.
Yeah.
That I'd done this organically.
And so that week you hit 80K? Was it an 80K week?
Yeah, on the Saturday was 7.5K. So on, wait.
Oh
One,
my
two,
gosh.
3, 4, 5, 6.
This is a diabolical amount of money to be making
1,
as a
2,
19-year-old,
3.
bro. The CVR is honestly like
That was
insanely.
80K, but
Yeah.
like even just including here, then
Wow.
86K. It's like
86K, bro. In a week.
technically, yeah,
In a week.
like 8 days, but basically a
8
week.
days.
80K a week.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking insane.
That's insane. Okay, do a quick little refresh for the people that think this is like genuinely fake. I don't know how you could possibly
Oh yeah,
even
there's
fake
genuinely there's
this.
gonna be some guys who are like, oh, this is a paid ad dashboard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. If we could show the sessions, we'd let you know that this is not fucking paid ads. But either way, this is the power of
Yeah.
branded, bro. Like the reason that Jaden is getting the CVR
Yeah.
is because he has a real brand, bro. You know, and you're
And
not seeing this
then
type of CVR with like stupid ass
we
blankets,
can go
bro.
last 7 days as well. Then it's another 25K week.
Bro,
Again,
bro.
2% CBR. So it's consistent.
Right.
Before I get
That's
any babies in the
insane.
comments again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just funny to me too because like
Yeah.
you're hitting
And
consistent
1.5K on the day.
2, 3, 4, 20K days. I mean, talk about like how you're feeling because I know you had a really big mindset shift when you started to make this money. Um, I mean, dude, you're 18. You're 18, not 19. You're fucking 18 years old. Um, what I want to say is like, how did your mindset shift from being, I guess, like just a normal organic dropshipper to like hitting this advanced level? Because you jumped a lot of chapters in a very short amount of time. Granted, like you've been doing this for a while, but in the last, I want to say month, last 30 days, literally, you have completely changed your life. So,
Mm.
how do you feel?
I feel like I'm in. I feel like I'm living I'm living in a life that like is not mine. I feel like I have like imposter syndrome. I don't know if that's the word, but
Yeah.
like what I was saying, it doesn't feel because the thing is, maybe in America, like it's kind of normal to see people like making money, like doing like online businesses and all that. Miami has plenty of young guys like that, but like over here, like that is unheard of. Like the amount of money I've made here, I'm basically a millionaire to like all the people around me because it's so people don't people don't do online business models here like really at all. Like there's maybe some in England, but like in Scotland, pretty much non-existent. And especially to make this amount of money this age, like when I went down to the bank, like just to do some like stuff regarding like my accounts and all that, like the dude was shocked. Like he actually couldn't like believe that someone my age is making this amount of money. And to be honest, I don't blame him because this is like truly unheard of over here. And like especially like from the reactions I got like from my family and like a few of my mates. I haven't even told all of them yet. Like a few of them, like they, like like I told him to, like I told one of my mates to guess how much he thinks I made in the last fucking 30 days because he already knew that like I do drop shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Like I asked him how much he thought I made, and he said maybe like $2,000. And I'm like, holy fucking lowball. And I showed him the dashboard, and then he like his mind was genuinely blown.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it's surreal. I'll say that.
What are some sacrifices you had to make to get to this point?
Well, the main one, I kind of just like stopped going out. Like, I hung out with my mates the other day, like last week. That was actually the first time I went out in like, wow, I want to say since like January. Like, I don't know. It was just, I don't even, because the thing is, I think a lot of people are kind of like hustler mindset. They kind of down on people. They put people down for like going out and all that. And I've never really been like that. I like going out, but it was never really about that. It was more so like, even though I like, going out and all that, I understood that to make this amount of money and to just kind of progress quicker, I kind of needed to make some sacrifices. So I kind of had to just like cut everyone off. And it wasn't even like, I wasn't trying to be mean about it, but like, because I'm not working as much now because everything's so way more like systemized now. But during like the 2 months, like I was working like I'd wake up, work, then I'd eat, and I'd go back to editing videos, and then I'd eat again. Maybe I'd watch like an episode of like TV, and then I'd go back to do more work, and then I'd go to sleep, and then same thing all over again. Like that was every day, pretty much for like at least a month straight, like guaranteed.
Right.
Like that's the thing, because I know there's probably a bunch of people that are like, in the space that are trying to like, make it, but most of them, or maybe not most of them, but a fair few of them are probably not doing as much as they could be doing. Like, maybe they scroll on the burner, maybe they'll order a product or two, and they'll maybe film a few videos every day, but they're really not like, they're not giving it their all. They're really not trying to like, just they don't. You don't feel uncomfortable, and that's a big thing. Like this is, I kind of realize that like, when I'm working for long hours, and I'm like, oh my god, I've been sat here for 4 hours editing videos. Like, it's long. It's kind of,
It's painful. It's painful. It sucks.
it's so boring
I know.
and all that. But like, in my mind, I'm like, this is it.
Right.
It's just gonna have to be like this for a while. Like, eventually, obviously, when you have everything outsourced, you have a team working for you and all these things,
Right.
You can be a bit more laid off. But until you get to that point, when it's all you, when you're just the only one working on your own business, the business relies on you.
Right.
So you have to kind of put in that amount of effort, for a while. And you might not, obviously, I was going really hard the last month, and I wasn't going that hard for like the whole year. I wasn't like working all day every day for that amount of time. But the thing is, I was just consistent that whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might have worked like 13 hours a day every day for like a month straight, but then they gave up. But with me, I kind of, for that whole time, even though maybe it was only like I'd work like maybe 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours a day, I was still just consistent every day. Even though it was less amount of time than some other people, I'll just still show up every day. I'll just still film, edit, and post every single day, no matter what. Like that was just a non-negotiable. And that's another thing. Like the time consistency will really actually just compound.
Mm-hmm.
If you stick to something for long enough, it will eventually, you'll see small wins, or you might see nothing for a while and then tiny win and then a nothing for again,
Right.
like months. But then eventually you can go from like making nothing to making probably like a record amount in the organic space.
Yeah. No, for
That's
sure.
really what it is. You just you gotta spend a lot of time doing whatever, not even just for dropshipping, whatever it is you want to do. You gotta put a lot of time into it, and you gotta put a lot of time into it for a long time
Right.
until it pays off.
I believe that there's like a lot of delay, right, that you experience because all this hard work that you put in these months, even a year, is finally now paying off. And it's almost like a lot of people aren't willing to go through that let alone suffer for so long like you did. Because there was probably a point in time during that whole period that you wanted to give up, but you told yourself, I'm not. I'm going to show up tomorrow. Even if it's just 4 hours a day, I'm going to stay
Mm.
consistent. And it freaking works, bro. And a lot of like the results that you're seeing now, bro, it's almost like delayed gratification. It's like it's coming. It's just a matter of it catching up because it's like all compounding, right? Every single day you're putting in a little bit, chipping in a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and then eventually it just shows off. And it's crazy
Mm.
because I'll probably pop it up on the screen. Like you were posting like your progress in the win section, right? It was like part one, part two,
Yeah,
part three, part four, and bro, part one was like I think it was like your first 1K day. And then
something like that.
yeah, something like that. And then it was like part two was first 10K month. And then, after that, it was like just progression, bro. And we saw it all, bro. The whole Discord saw your progression. It's just crazy because, like,
Mm.
it was just this compounding effect, of you showing
Yeah,
up every day. And it's truly important, bro, to be able to suffer for a long period of time and still see it through. I think that's a true skill, bro. Being able to sit on your
100%.
chair
Yeah.
5, 6 hours a day, even though you're not getting a single sale, but just knowing in the back of your head that like this is gonna work out eventually. I think it's like a superpower in my opinion because most people are not willing to do that, and they rather just throw like $1,000 out of crypto and just hope for the best.
Mm.
And it's like all right, that's your decision, but you have full control, and the reason that you're here right now is because of you, Jaden. Like you took full responsibility of your life and you're standing right in front of me right now because you put in the necessary work and everything is on you, right? Like you took accountability of your life and you put in the actionable steps and now you're here, and I feel like ecom is
Mm.
one of those business models that you get what you put in because you are
For
responsible.
sure.
You
Yeah.
are the CEO. You're a one-man army. Obviously now we have systems in place. You have a customer support team, email marketing, stuff like that. But in the beginning, it was just you and your fucking thoughts, bro. You know, and sometimes it's a little bit scary, bro, to be like, holy shit, it's all on me. But I much rather be held accountable than gamble on a random crypto and hope for the best. That's why I
Mm.
think organic is, in my opinion, again, this might be a little bit biased, is probably the best like online money gig you could probably hop on right now
For a beginner with
for a beginner,
nothing.
bro,
Yeah.
with nothing because you didn't really start with much either. Like you could talk
Yeah.
about that. Like you were just trenching.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because another thing is, I'll see a lot of like paid ad guys being like, "Oh, organic dropshipping is shit. Like paid ads is so much better." And like, yeah, obviously, objectively speaking, right? Paid ads is better. You get way more data for everything. You can scale way higher, and it's way more consistent. But like people in the paid ad space, they heavily, like they don't really, they're not honest with how much you actually need. Not just to like not just savings just to start, but then to consistently run the ads every day and then to actually scale and to have like back end infrastructure and all that. Like it's not the most beginner friendly business model. Like but with organic, you can start, you can make money and then go into paid ads. Either you could abandon all your organic skills once you have the capital, or you could, like in my case, where you have a product that can kind of bridge the gap, then you can actually leverage it and that'll actually help you with paid ads because that's kind of what we're about to start working on, like scaling with paid and like TikTok Shop and all those other sales channels. But like for someone, basically, yeah, for someone who just has no money or like not a lot, organic is the best way to just get some money in your bank account and start learning like the most basic skills of like marketing, assuming you do it in the right way. Because that's another thing. I'm talking about learning the skills of marketing. I'm not talking about doing like bullshit 3, 2, 1s with a chopping board. I mean like actually. That's another thing, bro. That's all I see in my burner. I'm like,
It's terrible, bro. You're
because
not
I've
learning
seen
shit.
that's something I've seen like a YouTuber. I don't know if you know him, but I've seen a video from Cole where he was
Yeah, I
talking
watched it. I watched. Yo, shout
yeah,
out
he was talking
Cole,
about
bro.
like,
Shout out Cole,
yeah.
bro.
I was thinking about that for days, where it's like he's not wrong, bro. All these fucking guys in the organic space, all they know how to do is pick up a wooden chopping board and do 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
And I've done that as well, but I've not only relied on that. Like
Right.
it was the way I like to put it. It's like it's just a tool in the toolbox, but there's so many other tools in that toolbox that are possibly better than the one that you're crutching on right now.
Right.
Like you don't need to, like people need to put way more of a focus onto actually developing skills than
Mm-hmm.
actually, if they actually want to get to like these big months, you need to have skills. You can't just like be a bot just
Right.
copying everyone on your burner.
Yeah, and I feel like you learned a lot of skills in like this journey, right? Of like how to market organically, marketing angles, how to go viral on command that you can go ahead and use for paid ads later on. Because like not only are you building,
Yeah,
these skills, you're making all this cash, right? Because let's talk about the profit margins on this 120K month. Like how much did you actually take home?
probably like 70%.
That's what I'm saying,
So
bro.
some days it's like 80 because just people order more of the bundles,
Right.
and like it's more of like US orders, so it's cheaper shipping. Just yeah, it's kind of in the range of like 70 to 80%. It's
That's what I'm
nuts.
saying, bro. Like, what other business model are you able to take like 80% profit, bro? Like, not many,
Yeah,
not many, especially in the ecom space. Because with paid ads, it's like, you can maybe take 20, 30% if you're lucky. Maybe you can do MRR. That's another story. But still, like, it's highly unlikely for you to take 80% with paid ads right off the rip. And with
mm,
organic, it's like you're taking in a lot of cash. It's a lot of cash flow. You're learning all these skills that are then going to translate to you starting your first ever,
yeah.
campaign on Facebook or
Assuming
TikTok
you do it,
shop
yeah. Assuming you do it in the right way.
in the
It's
right
very
way
important.
that we're
And
doing it, right? Branded,
yeah,
no bullshit emotional concepts, scamming no one. Like this is real organic, you know?
yeah,
And we did it the right way. And I remember we even had a conversation too. You were like, bro, like I want to treat this like a real fucking brand and, be proud of what I show to my family, because a lot of
exactly.
people in
Yeah,
the space are borderline fucking scamming. And it's like, brother, how can you go ahead and be happy about that? And most importantly, like share that to your family. It's like, you don't want to share that
yeah.
shit to your
Can't
family.
flex off failing visits to your family, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's absolutely fucked up, and this is hope for you guys that you could do it the right way. But obviously, having that brand protection that you do is massive, right? Because let's talk about the competition as well. Like obviously, you have a ton of competitors, but you're making all the money. Talk about that. Like how do you feel like going branded versus just running up a prod normally?
Really made me realize how much better that I am
Was
compared to the
cooking.
whole space. Yeah, like, bro, I realize how bad everyone actually is at this. Like, I don't want to leak my product, but let's just give an example. Let's say I was running the POV camera. I was the person that was bringing the new angles, the new, concepts and everything to the product. Meanwhile, everyone was doing the same thing where they put it on their chest, they flick it, and then it transitions into the video of whatever it is. Let's say it started with the football angle, everyone just did football. Or if it started with basketball, everyone did football, and they only did the exact same video that went viral. Like one for one, same movements. They just everyone did it exactly the same, other than maybe like one person. I think out of like so many people. But then we were kind of just okay. We have a million and one different concepts we can do. We have we were on a call. We literally like went on TikTok. We just doom scrolled our niche for the product
Mm-hmm.
and just looked for things that we could pick out that could help us. That's another thing. Um I think I gotta like give credit to Harper here because he's been really nailing this down with the Discord ever since he
Shout
kind
out
of
Harper, bro.
moved
Shout
into
out Harper.
AI. Like he honed in on everyone, telling everyone like do your niche research, look into your avatars, find out all their pain points, all that stuff. Because you know that's kind of you can do that, especially with AI. It's way easier to do that now. You could like I will go on Claude and I will literally like I have a whole document of my avatar and the niche, all their pain points, their desires, all that stuff. This kind of the type of stuff that you see paid ads guys doing, but you don't see a single organic dropshipper doing. And that's basically what we started doing with a mix of trying to make sure that our videos still go viral. And then it was just the perfect recipe for like high converting videos that also go viral.
Right. Yeah, it's like another level, bro. It's like people are only copying cooking concepts from other people and just
Yeah.
regurgitating the same shit while we're looking at it from a different scope and studying from the greats, right? The actual CEO fucking ecom brands that are printing millions a month, right? Like, why can't we just extract some of those winning pieces of what they're doing and do it for organic, right? Obviously, making sure that we still go viral, like you said, but it's like a lot
Mm.
of guys don't even look into even optimizing your website, right? Like the reason also that you're able to hit this crazy CVR is not only because you're branded, but like we A/B tested the offers, right? We set up pre-purchases, post-purchases, complimentary items, email lists. Now you're making 3 grand passively from your email
Yeah.
marketing, which is
First week that we launched email
first week that
marketing.
we launched
Yeah.
email marketing. By the way, it's insane, right? Because we're treating this like a real business and we're taking inspiration from the greats, you know.
Yeah.
Um, So Jaden, I want to ask you, like, how were you feeling before joining FSE and working with me?
Well, I mean, I came in with like full confidence because like I said, I looked at all these other guys in the space, not naming anyone specifically, but none of them really. I didn't feel like I was. They were on the same page with me, like the way I was thinking about going about business. Whereas Kevin's videos, they were so much more detailed and like taking the business model from what it is, to the 99% of people that do it to like this more branded. Like he was bringing new perspectives and new ideas to his videos that basically I hadn't seen from anyone else. So then I was joining with full confidence. Like, you know, I joined like kind of already knowing that I was going to make money. But I also, I mean, I knew I already. That's the thing. I already because the part of the reason I didn't give up with organic because I knew that I was going to make money with this business model. When I even during the months where I was making not a lot or just like basically nothing, it's like my brain was still fully convinced that I was gonna make money with this. So, you know, I was like maybe before I was making money, I sounded a bit retarded, but now that I made this money, it's obviously like I guess kind of manifestation would be the right word, or just you know, controlled delusion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and probably because I was doing it for so long. I think that's another thing. When you do something for so long, you kind of start to just become. It just becomes a part of your lifestyle. It just becomes a part of like your personality, like for anything. But I mean, that was kind of off topic. But yeah, I joined FSE with like full confidence that Kevin could help me with what I needed to help with, and a lot of the other guys as well. Like, I'm not the only one. Like, there's Elias, Prince, Harper, like all these other guys are making a good amount of money. Like it's these systems, like I'm not just a one hit wonder. Like all the other guys are printing as well. They're all making good amount. They're all, I assume, learning the skills the right way.
Right. Right. And there's a little bit of competition as well. It's actually good because it's like you're surrounding yourself with these like guys that are making, similar money as you and you're like, "Bro, I got to step it up." Because, I bet you there was one point in time where you were looking through the wins chat and you're like, "Bro, this guy like is printing right now, probably younger than me, and I got to do more." And so there's a little bit of like friendly competition in there,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's just kind of helping each other out. Because I know you've asked, Harper for tips, Elias for tips, and we're just kind of all working together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to ask you too, like how long was it until you kind of saw like results?
By results, were we saying like a 10K month or like
I
this
would
kind of
say
result?
like whatever you would consider a good result for you.
Well, we'll put it for the majority of people. Let's say a good result is a 10K month. I hit that kind of I think the second month in the program, and then second or third month, and then for a while, okay, like 2 months where I was kind of thugging out, and then obviously, near the end, I just came off this big win. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like as long as you're not lazy and like you actually, um, you know, put effort in every day. Like if the daily regimen is you need to film, edit, post, do product research, content research, as long as you do that every day and like you know don't do it lazily, you know you could probably get results like quick because you'll also you'll have Kevin helping you. You won't make mistakes when you're working with Kevin. Maybe sometimes you might run into a thing where you don't really know what's going on. You're in a stage of like trying to figure out something you're thugging out or whatever. But for the most part, like you join your it's on you if you don't make money.
Right, right. I feel like we have all the necessary resources for anyone to like come in here and just print. Obviously, like with the one-on-one calls, I know that we had some pretty valuable conversations, bro. Whether it was like, building out the systems for the brand, kind of like talking about, okay, this is going to be the game plan. This is going to be the blueprint. We're going to start with this, and that, pick these variants, introduce these marketing angles. Like we had a lot of tactical one-on-one calls where, sometimes they would go on for an hour and you would stay up like, you would go to like your car sometimes to go talk because your parents were sleeping and like it was so
Yeah.
late, you know? And so like you did put the necessary work. We even talked about mindset, like a shift in mindset. I remember we had this one call, we talked about mindset. And it's like you showed up to every single one-on-one call. You never skipped
Yeah.
a call. You never skipped a group call. You were super active in general chat, helping everybody out. And I mean, it's like that type of persona that does really good here, because you were utilizing all the resources and just learning. It's almost like you were like a sponge, bro. Just like taking in so much information, but not only taking it in, but also applying it. That's also really important because, bro, you would show up every single day, texting me on WhatsApp, telling me this, and that, and
Mm.
it was like necessary, you know?
Yeah, like literally, I mean, especially with like the AI stuff. Like when Harper, the first, I think I told you, it's the first group call that Harper ever told us about AI, and he gave us a blueprint on how to like do the AI videos, the right way. I'm not even joking. That same night, I stayed up and I made, my AI avatar, and I made, you know, all this stuff, and then I probably was one of the first people to actually start implementing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was quick with it.
Right. Right. And that's another thing too. It's like you're getting first dibs on a lot of these new resources that are coming out almost weekly with AI, you know? Because you were there when we kind of pioneered everything. You were on that call. Like I can look back at that recording and see you
Mm,
there. You witnessed like the creation of this,
yeah.
and that's like the type of information that you get access to. But also I wanted to ask you, like, what's your favorite part about like FSC, the community, even just working with me? Like, what are some highlights you would say?
Um, I'd say, you know, the fact that you're probably, if you're making money, you're not going to be the only one making money. Like the other guys, you know, are printing, but they also, some of the guys have like, you know, messaged me like asking for advice. So everyone's kind of like, not like trying to leech, but everyone's just trying to work together and like learn off each other.
Right.
So like they can, you know, grow themselves, but also help others. Like everyone, I look at the Discord. It's like every day there's always new messages. Like people are always just talking in there. Even if you're new, even if you haven't made any money yet, you can, you know, speak to anyone and they'll probably get back to you and they'll help you with whatever you want. Like not, it's not just Kevin you can talk to. You can,
Yeah.
because there's quite a few people that are like, like phase 4 now, phase 3. Like there's quite a few people that like have got a grasp of what they're doing that can, help you. If you just talk to them, you know, as long as you're not shy, there's plenty of help in the Discord.
Yeah, we're all working together, bro, and yeah, we got guys like you could be joining as a complete beginner and get access to guys like Jaden that are doing 100K a month, right? Like Jaden isn't mean; he isn't gonna like block you just for saying, "Hey, what's up?" Like we're all just kind of here working
Yeah,
together. But
but
like
don't ask me
very,
some like bullshit questions though.
yeah, don't waste his time. Don't waste his time.
Yeah.
So Jaden, I mean, talk about your goals, bro. Like, what are some of your goals? I mean, what are you gonna be doing now with like all this money, this momentum that you've built? Kind of go over that, bro, because I'm curious.
Well, I'm definitely not gonna splurge it all on a car. I mean, there's gonna be stuff that I'm gonna buy, of course, but everything I do buy is gonna be like, stuff that I can afford, and that's like something my family's especially made clear that I don't do. You've mentioned it as well. Like, just don't be a dumbass. Like so many case studies from other people, like student will make a bunch of money and then they blow it all on an M3, and then like they're barely even making like 10K a month. Like
Hmm.
they could have used that money to start hiring a team, start building out systems, or even just fucking buy a car that's cheaper than the one that they just chose to go with that ended up rinsing their whole wallet and now they're struggling. Not mentioning any names specifically, but
Yeah,
you know who
yeah,
you are.
yeah.
Like you're all idiots with your money. That's something Kevin will make sure you don't do, and hopefully your family make sure that you don't do either. Like you gotta, I'm not saying you can't spend your money. You can have fun with it, like to a reasonable extent, but most of it should stay in the business, and most of it should be reinvested so that you can actually, you know, it can be sustainable every month, and you can keep growing and making more every month.
Yeah, not even having to worry about bills and stuff and rent. Because when you have like a good amount of money liquid in your bank account, it's like, okay, you're no longer thinking about, okay, am I going to have enough money for food this month or rent? You can kind of start thinking about like moving the needle rather than, having to pay your bills, right? And it kind of almost like unlocks another part of your brain to just focus on continuing to scale, because now with this money, Jaden can go ahead and start testing with paid ads, get into maybe making custom variations and investing in that, building out more teams, right? Like this is money that is necessary for scalability. And if you were to just blow it on an M4, right, M3, it's
Yeah.
like, bro, congrats. You just fucking like killed your momentum, because that's
Yeah.
almost like a waste of money in my opinion. That's why I've never even bought a car or nothing, bro. Like,
Really?
it's never,
I actually didn't
bro.
know that.
Bro, I drive a fucking Volkswagen Jetta, bro, 2012. That
Oh
motherfucker has
shit.
200K miles, right? But
I respect it.
I'm super like frugal about my money, because it's like, bro, I want to just keep on building my brands and having that disposable income to deploy whenever I want to, you know?
Yeah.
And I heard this from a friend once. It was like, no one cares about the car you drive. Everyone cares about the money in your bank. And that's true, bro. Like, I much rather see, 7 figures liquid in the bank rather than a cool little M3. Like, at the end of that, for me, at least, that's more impressive, being able to just
Mm.
like show your bank and be like, oh, I'm up, right? But speaking of which, I mean, how does your family feel about this? Like, have you told your parents? You said you maybe told some friends. Like, what was kind of their reaction to all this? Because
Oh yeah, no, they were all happy for me. Family was happy, making sure that I understand that I kind of have responsibility now with this amount of money coming in. Because obviously people my age, especially here, they don't make this kind of money. Like it's not even like there's a few people here and there. Like no, there's genuinely like there's no one else that makes this kind of money at my age, and I need to kind of be responsible with it. And they've because some of them they have their own businesses, so they've given me advice on how to kind of manage the money. Um, you know, and but for the most part, yeah, they're happy. Like they're supportive and want to see me do well, and hopefully that will be the case for everyone if they make it.
W, bro.
And then obviously, and then also my friends. I haven't told. I've told I'd say like a few now, because some of them came were asking me like, where you been, man? Because I said I kind of stopped going out for like 2 months, and
Yeah.
then once I kind of told them about everything, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. In fact, like one of them, I remember like the last time I went out, he'll probably see this video. You'll know who he is, but like I told him that like, oh yeah, man, because I kind of like I've just not been really like been going out, wanting to go out anymore because I want to focus on this and all that. And he's because I was also kind of slacking with the gym and all that stuff. And he was saying like, bro, you need to stop slacking, bro. I like seeing you like locked in and all that because I know I'm like not able to do that myself. Or like it was something like that. It was like ages ago, but like they're supportive, friends are supportive, family supportive,
That's
um,
huge.
and like it's a good environment to be around. I don't really have people, like I feel like a lot of people, it's the common here will have like stories where like people are just like everyone was shit to them and like everyone hated on them. Like
Hmm.
I don't really have a sob story. I'm surrounded by good people.
That's awesome,
So
bro.
yeah,
That's the best part, bro. Having a supportive family and a friend group that supports your goals and the sacrifices that you made to get here. That's huge, bro. That's huge. So yeah, last question, Jaden. If you were talking to somebody that was on the fence about joining, what would you say, truthfully?
um, if you're not lazy, join. If you're lazy, then don't join.
Yeah.
like, because that's the thing. I'm gonna be real. This is also something I've even like told people is like, online business isn't for everyone. Like, I don't know. There's so many people that will act like, they have like a superiority complex over other people just because they make money and they have a business and they don't go out and they do all this stuff. And it's like, it's not like, I like doing what I do, but it's not for everyone. Like, it takes a lot of time, effort. It's mentally draining. Um, and there's way more fun ways to go about life. But this is for people that don't really care about having fun for a while and just want to make money.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, and putting in the work, bro. Putting in the actionable steps, because we're gonna give you all the tools necessary for you to succeed, but you need to be putting the work, right? You need to pick up that camera and start recording, right? We can't do that for you. And that was huge. Yeah, and you're right, bro. It's like if you're into making a lot of money, this is the perfect place to be. But if you're optimizing to be the happiest human being and not work a single hour in a day, then this is probably not for you, right? There's probably
Yeah,
other things you could probably do to do that. But
yeah. I mean, you can be happy. You'll be happy eventually when your
yeah,
business is like booming, but until then, it will be a kind of shit.
would you say you're
Not gonna lie.
happy right now?
More than happy.
Yeah, and you're probably a lot more fulfilled too in what you're doing.
Yeah, feels like I'm not like wasting my time anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you have something to like look forward to when you wake up. It's like, okay, like I have purpose, and it's like purposeful work as well when you're building your own brand and making it the right way, like you're doing. So I'm super happy for you. And yeah, Jaden, this was a great case study, bro. A little bit of a longer one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Like I said, Jaden, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're a busy man now, but I'm
yeah.
sure there's lots of people here that are gonna find a lot of inspiration, just like I'm seeing, bro. Like this is inspiring for me. All I want to do now is like get off this call and fucking get to work,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, thank you so much for being here, Jaden. And guys, if you
Thank you for
guys want
having me.
to, yeah, for sure, bro. Like, bro, this is fucking insane. This is gonna be like we're gonna look at this again, and we're gonna run this back, and we're gonna see how everything kind of goes, bro. Because this is just the beginning of this like massive empire that you're gonna be building. I'm excited for Q4 because like this is fucking
Oh,
Q1.
no, bro. Come Q4, bro. I'm like 10xing, bro.
Yeah,
I
it's
put my
over.
money on it,
Yeah,
genuinely.
and we'll run it back. We'll look back on this video and be like, yeah, he called it. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, guys, that's going to be the case study for today. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys do want to join FSC, you guys can go ahead and apply in the description below. And with that being said, Jaden, one more time, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And I'll see you guys in the next case study. Peace out.